Welcome to Healthier, Happier Hour. I am Kiersten.
Hello. I'm Carly, and we are so excited to be here with you, and we are going to help you feel better, connect in your relationships, and enjoy your life. What's up?
Let's go. What's up? She says.
What's up?
It's so fun because it's been a minute since we recorded these, and I'm like, what do people need? Like sometimes right before a coaching session or a class I'm going to teach, I'm like, let me give the people what they need, right? So let's think about what you need as you're listening. Let's ask ourselves that, and let's have some fun along the way.
Yes, that sounds amazing. Let's do it.
All right, sweet. So I want to hear a cheers but first, wait a minute. You said, go, Kiersten, go get your drink. And so I got my drink.
I see it. And it looks delicious, by the way.
It's iced coffee with some almond milk foam on top and some cinnamon.
Delicious. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
And the mug.
And cheers to you. Thanks for saying go do the thing. Go just make a drink that you're going to like.
Yeah. Because then you get to enjoy what we're doing a little bit more. Enjoy your life, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. We don't need to edit this out, but can you hear my puppy right now?
Yes.
I wonder.
Yes, but we love him.
And now everyone cannot unhear that I brought attention to it, right? Oh my goodness. But when we were getting all set up, he was just laying nicely. And I have a very social dog that wants to be with us at all times. It's a COVID puppy.
You can't help it. It's not his fault.
I know. So he's like literally bedding on my exercise mat right next to me. So here we are.
Sweet Ember. There you are.
All right. Tell me a cheers because I would have to make this my tears.
Here's the cheers. I don't know. It's kind of a cheers too. You get to snuggle him now. Okay. I'm for sure going in with a cheers. We're like into school mode, and both my kids are loving school right now, which was a huge stressor for me personally because they're both very mummified. And well, my son is like daddy.
Mummified or mummified? Are they wrapped in toilet paper or
wrapped around my finger for sure?
Okay.
But they're definitely like, well, our son at least is for sure in his like daddy era.
Okay.
Daddy. And they both are loving school. And I don't know if you're watching, you can see this cute little butterfly ring that I'm wearing currently that my daughter gave to me before the first day of school. And she said, oh, and this bracelet that she made that says mom. And she has an matching one.
Oh, I love it.
And she said, Mom, you can wear these to school. She's 5. And I have a matching one. And then every time that you miss me, you can just look down and think of me. And I was like, okay, cue the tears.
Yeah.
I'm the emotional one in the family, but let's just bring it on. So that was amazing. It was literal tears, but good ones. And also tears because I have worn this rubber green butterfly ring every single day. And it just has brought true cheers and tears to my life. So
so much joy. That is amazing.
So much joy.
It is seriously the best when our kids are doing well. Like, especially you said as the lead up, it's like, you're nervous and they're doing so good.
Yeah. So huge cheers.
Cheers to that. Cheers to you. We're doing it.
Cheers to the kids, all the moms, parents, people, families. Mm-hmm. Way to go.
I know. Yeah. So I think that does lead in to what I wanted us to chat about today.
Of course it does.
Anna. So, all right. So in Addison's class, one of her teachers, her science teacher, gives the parents' homework. And so when I went in the orientation, of course, Carly, you know me, I'm like, woo. I never got in trouble in school. I don't know. Like one time I was in the front row of a comedy show with Ethan And Ethan was like so embarrassed of me because literally the comedian says, we're in the front row. He's like, I've never had such a positive heckler. And I'm like, oh, I'm not heckling. I'm encouraging. Anyway, that was my side story to my story. So the real story is one of Addison's teachers said at orientation that she's going to be giving the parents homework. And I was like, oh no. And she's like, I'm going to have you compete, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, wow, what is this going to be? So all it is, it's really cool. So it's happened one time so far. And I actually love it. And Addison comes home from school first thing. She's like, all right, here's your homework. Sit down. Let me grab you a pen. Make sure your phone is away. Where's your phone? Where's your phone? Made sure my phone was away so I couldn't Google anything. And she's like, just answer these questions, what you think. And it was just like 4 or 5 questions, science-based. And the first question I was like, ooh, I know this one. Yay, I got all excited and stuff like that. But the first question is what I've been feeling like I need to remember. And the first question asked some rendition of how many variables can you have in an experiment? And so lately, like anyone, I bet we can all think about our life and think of some big variables, right? And so I've been thinking this is too much at once, right? And so I've been trying to be intentional, like one variable at a time. Like every 3 weeks, we could handle a new variable, let's say, because there's literally been so many big things that we could just like shut down. And in the coaching world, a lot of times we talk about what we're wanting to work on as working in experiments. And so I'm like, if it's a true experiment, we can only change one variable at a time and then give it a path. Like in my mind, I'm thinking like 3 or 4 weeks, but it depends on what the variable is, right? Like I'm thinking we have some big variables right now as a family. And I'm like, okay, give our family 3 to 4 weeks on this variable and just be really like with the other things, graceful, and don't change all the things at once. And so that's kind of what I've been feeling like I need lately. And oftentimes what we need, we end up teaching. And so I'm like, oh, let's talk about that. We've been talking about it in my classes. So what do you think about that?
So good. No, it's so good. And I think aligns so perfectly to like where we are. I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day about something so similar, but you're giving words to like exactly what our conversation was, because we were talking about like being in the midst of the transition and like how we can adapt and how we can, get things to move a little bit smoother and adjust, and just how so much comes at us at once and how sometimes we just don't know how to handle it. And we're like looking for ways to like calm our bodies down or like find calm in the chaos and different things. And some of it's out of our control, right? But
Right.
sometimes we can choose what to control. And that's exactly what you're talking about. Like choosing the variables that are within your control to like adjust or remove or change. And then the ones that are outside of your control, like setting those down. Then the ones that are within your control, like focusing in on just one at a time. So that's so timely.
That's good. And even as you say that, like I think of, you know me, I'm always thinking about it in like fitness terms, just because I'm such like physical kinesthetic learner. And so when you said the things that we can't control, immediately my brain went to, because we're thinking about experiments, we're thinking about play, we're thinking about fun and how we can enjoy our life at the same time. And I think of reaction training, right? So the things we can't control, like what if we video gamed it up if you're a video game person, or like reaction trained it up with like, ooh, dodging and jumping over things and dancing through, walking that line, like whatever it is that we need to do. But I think it's important that it's like identifying. Sometimes I forget that step, identifying
Right.
what's the variable,
Right.
And to your point about like, is this inside my control or outside my control?
Yeah. Well, and sometimes it can be difficult too. So I'm curious, maybe you can help us figure this out. For me, I have a hard time deciding like which thing should I prioritize. Like if
Mm,
there's multiple variables that I'm like, ooh, but all of these things are important. Like my health is important,
yeah.
my like, eating right's important, working out's important,
Yeah.
my routine and structure is important, my
Okay,
family.
we get it. We get it. I was just going to ask you for help. Come on. And now you're asking me for help, but I think we got this. Let's talk through it.
Yeah, how do we do it all? Like how do we
Yeah.
choose one to focus on first?
Right. And
Sure.
so I don't think there's a clear answer for every season, every moment, every person. Like, I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is like getting quiet first with yourself and knowing if you choose to change all the variables at the same time, your experiment might get a little wacky, right? It
Stress.
might be like chaotic. But sometimes like you said, like we can't control that this just happened and that wasn't my variable. But guess what? I can like take a minute. I'm just thinking of someone who's really going through a hard time in my life or in their own life. And I really want to help. That's like my desire in my heart. And yet I've just told you there's so many variables in our life, right? And so that right there, you know, sometimes we just have to say like what's important now, and I think that comes from getting quiet. But then I will say that unwell people can't help others
Yeah.
effectively, right? So what can we do that's little to keep ourselves well? And we've talked big rocks before,
Yeah.
and uh right now we're doing a theme in Fitness Inspired, and it's about clean slate and like looking at the big rocks first, and we can always clean slate it later. And I remember us talking about big rocks a few weeks ago, and I wonder if it's just like, okay, what's a big rock here? What's going to make a difference? But on that list in Fitness Inspired, I'm like, guess what? Your health, you are always going to be a big rock. Like your health is going to be a big rock. Your nourishment is part of your health. It's going to be a big rock. So if you're sitting there listening to this and you're like, okay, I'm checking in, I'm thinking I'm like helping, the squeaky wheel, just the chaos, all the variables, all the squeaky wheels, and you haven't made your health a big rock, and you're saying like, what's the first step? And my hope always is to do it more coaching rather than consulting. But if you're gonna ask me as a consultant, I'm gonna say movement is a keystone habit. Move your body for 5-10 minutes. If that's all you got, you can do anything. Just move your body. And that's a keystone habit. And it's been proven to help these other things. And it helps us like close or like release stress. It helps us, weirdly enough, eat better. There's been research that shows that. My clients tell me all the time when they're working out and their routine, they're drinking more water, right?
Mhm.
Without even trying. So yeah. So let's drop our shoulders, trust ourselves. Like Carli and I both believe in the power of coaching and things like that. And that's always a gift that I want to give to myself. And I hope other people, choose that as well. But if you need one thing to work on, if you're like, I'm super overwhelmed, just move your body for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
No, it's
reset.
gonna change everything.
Yeah.
You're right. And the beauty thing, the beauty thing.
The beauty thing. Oh, I like that.
As my
I'm
daughter would
turning
say,
into
the booty call thing.
that.
She loves to use the word booty anytime she can. It's so funny
Me
when you're
too.
5. The
Booty
beautiful
work, booty work.
booty work. The booty call thing, you will get your booty work if you walk for 10 minutes every day. The beautiful thing is you can change it up. Like you were saying earlier, like the variable doesn't have to last forever and you can always add something in, you can pivot, you can switch gears. It's like layering things on top. Like
Yeah.
so it's not a forever thing and it's really simple to just add something in. Like once you've not mastered, like you've gained perfection, but like once you've felt and gained consistency in one thing, you add something else in and you reevaluate. So
And you get to add something else in if it feels right. Otherwise, like just be happy with your consistency and be like, one thing that I'll never forget, if you're going through like a particular challenging time, maybe be over ready to add the next variable. Like, let's be super consistent with what's helping you be well and being intentional about your variable. And then like I said earlier, there's going to be something that comes along the way. And it brought me some clarity of making some decisions in my life too about how I spend my time, because I'm like, I want to be able to help this person, not like over function for them, but help this person. And right now I have no margin to help them. And Ember's back. And on that note, he's bringing us some fun levity to our show today. What was healthier or happier for you, Carli?
oh my gosh, everything. Honestly, this is giving me some clarity for myself because I just was thinking, okay, we've gotten some consistent routines in our family now. We're pretty settled-ish. I'm hesitant to say
Don't
that.
say that out loud. Knock on wood.
Punch is thrown, everything goes to chaos. No, I'm just kidding. So it's giving me some clarity about like, okay, what's the next thing now for me that I'm going to be challenging myself with to like add in just for my own like health and wellness. And I think that for me is going to be like to up my game with movement and with exercise because our whole dynamic has changed. So it's definitely been healthier and happier, getting some clarity and just thinking through like, okay, we're getting to that point. Like, let's go, let's do it. Let's move. Let's get it done. I'm feeling motivated, excited, and I want to see who's going to join me. So share with us, leave a comment, leave a question, tell us what you're doing.
That's right. Awesome. And where can they do that? Where can they reach out to us?
Hello. Around the podcast, you can leave us a comment. You can find us on any of the social media platforms at Healthier Happier Hour. And then you can also find us at www.healthierhappierhour.com. And you can join any of our pages and lists there as well.
Awesome. Woo woo. Have a great day. We're cheering for you. Let's go. Ember's cheering for you and high-fiving.